Hello, everybody. Baron Banana's back again, and we are continuing on with Doki Doki Blue Skies. So, when we left off yesterday, we got through our second day in the club, our first day as the actual member of it, and wrote a poem, obviously. Thanks to the wheel decided I used, we're attempting to go for Yuri. Not my first choice, but I will use, I'll abide by Wheel's decision. Because why not? So everyone read our poem, Yuri liked ours, gave us some advice, Sayori was just Sayori, Natsuki was her normal crappy self, and Monica gave her insight and even noticed that our style is similar to Yuri's. Then Yuri and Natsuki had a bit of a blowout. No surprise there. But Monica managed to cool things down. Just enough. Okay, gotta remember, I've always gotta come here to do that. Which is a little annoying, but what can you do? So, when we left off at the start of the next day, writing our next poem. So, let's just start doing that. I like this music. Alright. So I need words that relate to Yuri. So... variants? Yep. Unrequited would be Sayori. Hopeless, I feel like, is also Sayori. Bed would be Sayori. Lollipop sounds like Natsuki. Starscape? Hell yeah. Extraordinary? Damn it. That was Sayori. Alright, still we're two for Yuri, one for Sayori. We want to keep Yuri in the positive there. So Tenacious? Yep. Massacre? Yep. Journey? Yep, alright. Doing good. Effulgent. Agonizing? Yep. Fester? Yep, okay. Alright. Doing good so far. Disoriented? Yep, alright. Meager? Okay. Frightening? Not bad. This is all from just memory. Horror is definitely Yuri. Like, no doubt about that. Horror equal Yuri. Gee, anime. I wonder who anime relates to. Heartbeat? Damn it. Still, majority at Yuri so far. That's okay. Unrestrained. Yep. Alright. Contamination. Unstable. Alright. Incongruent. Alright. Not bad. Existence? Determination? Alright. Cool. Another Yuri one. Awesome. Just a few days ago, I never would have thought that I'd look forward to an extracurricular so much. But here I am, back for another club meeting and anticipating new antics from everybody. The usual scene awaits me as I step into the club room. Hi, Baron. Hey, Sayori. Looks like you're in a good mood today. I'm just still not used to you being in the club, that's all. Is that so? Well, it's nice to see you so cheery. Anyway, what's new? Oh, I've got some exciting news. Eh? What's up? Did you know that the student store sells that brand new damn it, what the I'm barely into this and I've already screwed up. Thanks a lot. Thanks me. Thanks brain. That the student store sells that new brand of strawberry milk now? I saw it when I passed by on my way here. I should have known better than to expect actual news from Sayori. Huh. I don't think I've tried that yet. I don't know. Strawberry milk is usually too sweet for me. What? But it goes great with melon bread. Sayori, you could eat a packet of raw sugar and you'd still say it's not sweet enough. Nice. Hey, that's an exaggeration. Seriously though, it goes really well with bread. The milk is sweet, but it still has that unique tart strawberry flavor that's eased by the richness of the milk. And when you pair that with fresh bread, the sweetness is spread out even more, so it's just the right amount of flavor. Wow, when did you become Gordon Ramsay? I'm a food expert. You should trust me on this. I mean, given how many snacks you eat every day, I don't doubt that you know your food well. I'm gonna take that as a compliment, you meanie. So I'm a meanie for giving her a compliment? Anyway, aren't you hungry now? Talking about food always makes me hungry. Now that you mention it, maybe a little. Great! Let's go to the student store and buy snacks together then. Ah, now I see what she's playing at. I raise an eyebrow and Sayori notices. Baron? Why are you looking at me like that? Well, Sayori, I have a nagging suspicion that you're only trying to convince me to come because you don't have any money. And you just want me to buy you a snack. What? I would never do that! Oh, really? Then let's see your purse. Huh? Your purse. Let's see it. Sayori laughs awkwardly as she pulls out her purse. She opens with it and dumps its contents onto the desks. That's weird. She opens with it? Shouldn't be it opens it? Oh well. I mean, things happen. I mean, if there's screw up in the text, whatever, I screw up reading it half the time. Two small coins fall out. Tisk, tisk, tisk. This little ruse might have actually worked, had Sayori not pulled it on me numerous times when we were younger. The amount of times she managed to trick me into buying her another ice cream. I guess some things never change. Nice try, Sayori. No fair! How did you know? Now, wouldn't you like to know? Let's just call it intuition. In response, she sticks her tongue out at me. Typical. I love Sayori's little antics. Yuri suddenly giggles. Eh? I didn't notice she was eavesdropping. Looking over in her direction, I catch her peeking over the top of a book. I wasn't listening or anything. It was just something in my book. Yuri! Tell Baron to let me borrow some money. That's none of my business, Sayori. Besides, you should only buy what you can responsibly afford. It's shameful to manipulate people into doing or buying things for you. Damn. Wow. Isn't that a little harsh? I'm only messing around with Sayori after all. I didn't mean that. That came out much harsher than I intended. Sorry. Well... Yuri blushes in embarrassment, looking away from us while playing with a strand of her hair. I apologize for how I've been acting lately. It looks like she might still be a bit ashamed of how she acted yesterday. You know, it's okay to be honest sometimes. You shouldn't always keep things that bother you to yourself. There's no way you could think that after... You were right, though. I shouldn't trick people into buying things for me. Buying me things, whatever. I said the same thing. Ugh. I will one day learn to read and talk at the same time. One day. But not this day. Funny how your 10-year-old self didn't see it that way. Yuri lets out a small laugh, covering her mouth with her hand. Even the way she laughs is so shy and proper. Is this mischievous behavior something Sayori used to display as a child, then? Oh yeah. Although back then I fell for it time and time again. You wouldn't believe how much candy Sayori managed to con me out of. Don't make me have to be so sneaky, Baron! Although those candies were so good. God damn it, Sayori. I'm surprised, Sayori. Coming from you, I guess there's a little devil inside all of us, isn't there? What's going on here? Oh, nothing much. Sayori was just up to some mischief. Oh. Yeah, she tried to trick me into buying her a snack. Hey! That's not true! Monica smiles wryly and turns to me. I'm assuming this isn't the first time. Well, you'd be right. We all share a little chuckle at that. Well, everyone except Sayori does. Hey, you guys are being really mean. Okay, we're sorry. But you did bring this upon yourself. Yeah, I know. But in my defense, I am really hungry. Well... Natsuki chimes in. If you're really that hungry, you can have this if you want. She offers up a giant cookie wrapped in plastic. Sayori immediately snatches it out of her hands. Thank you, thank you, thank you! Sayori hugs the cookie. Jeez, just eat it. Sayori rapidly tears open the wrapper and takes a big bite. So good. Sayori suddenly clasps her hands over her mouth. I bit my tongue. Ha! You're going through a lot over just one cookie. Natsuki takes a bite of her own cookie.
Yours looks really good too, Natsuki. Can I try it? Jeez. Beggars can't be choosers. But yours is chocolate. Yeah, why do you think I gave you that one? Fine. Still, I'm really happy you shared this one with me.
Sayori gets out of her seat and goes behind Natsuki, then wraps her arms around her.
Ah, jeez. I get it.
Cookie still in hand, Natsuki reaches up to nudge Sayori off. Sayori suddenly leans down and takes a bite out of Natsuki's cookie.
Hey! Did you seriously just do that?
Mouth full, Sayori trots away to safety. Yuri, Monica, and I laugh as well.
Jeez, you're such a kid sometimes. Monica, can you tell Sayori to quit taking my stuff? Sayori, you should know you shouldn't do something like that without permission.
Monica scolds Sayori.
I know. I'm sorry, Natsuki. But it was so good. Hey!
Everyone but Natsuki chuckles. These things happen a lot, Monica?
A little bit too much, to be honest. Don't worry, it's all in good fun. Good fun is teasing each other from time to time, not stealing food. Oh, calm down. It's not a big deal.
Natsuki pouts in her seat. Everyone calms down and quickly returns to their normal activities. Sayori has already managed to finish the entire cookie. Meanwhile, Natsuki gets up and heads for the closet, and Yuri is already lost in her book. Hello, Yuri.
Oh! Hello, Baron.
Yuri places the book she was reading down on her desk. I'm not interrupting you or anything, am I?
Oh, not at all. Were you hoping to continue reading together?
Well, yes, actually. Would that be alright?
Oh, of course. Before we get started, would it be alright if I made some tea?
Sure. What did you have in mind?
Perhaps I could show you.
Yuri stands up and drifts toward the back of the back of the room. Why did I say classroom? Oh well, I mean it is a classroom. She opens up the cupboard and retrieves a glass pitcher.
I'll just be a moment. Is that alright?
Yeah, take your time. Yuri turns to leave, but then suddenly wheels back.
Oh, I almost forgot. There's an electric kettle in the cupboard here. Would you mind plugging it in for me while I'm gone?
Sure. See you in a bit. This time, she leaves the classroom for real. She's nervously clutching onto the water pitcher, but she still appears to make long, elegant strides. It's really quite astonishing to see. She almost looks graceful.
Oh? Where's Yuri off to? You didn't scare her away, did you?
What? No! At least, I don't think so.
I'm just teasing you, Baron.
Right. That's not really what I call a good joke, but I don't argue. Yuri wanted to make some tea, so she went to fetch some water.
I see. Yuri's very proud of her tea set. Has she shown it to you yet?
Oh? Not yet, no.
Maybe you should ask her about it. Tea is a big passion of hers, so I'm sure she'd be happy to talk about it a bit. Who knows? Maybe it'll help you get a little closer to her.
Eh? Monica giggles.
I'm just messing with you again, Baron.
At the moment, the door of the club room opens, and Yuri walks back in with a full water pitcher.
Ah, speak of the devil. Well, I won't keep you any further. Have fun with Yuri.
Monica walks away, and Yuri approaches me.
Is everything all right? I'm sorry for taking so long.
You're fine. Monica was just telling me about your tea set. Whatever. Words. I'm never gonna get these expressions down proper. Also, again, ugh. I'm okay with the Sayori voice I do. I'm good with the Natsuki voice. I'm pretty confident with the Monica. The Yuri one is just gonna be flip-flopping between a lot of different things. I'll get over it. Maybe that's a good thing I'm doing her route first. It's forcing me to get a voice down for her. A delicate smile plays across Yuri's face.
Yes. Would you like to see it?
Monica must have been telling the truth. She genuinely looks excited to share this with me. I'd be happy to, Yuri.
Baron, do you like oolong tea?
I don't really have a preference. I'm sure whatever you give me will be fine.
Very well.
Yuri sets the temperature on the electric kettle to 200 degrees. Oh, so they're doing... Is that Fahrenheit, or do we... Yeah, 200 degrees water is nearly impossible in Celsius. I mean, it's possible, but mostly steam at that point. Now I'm curious. What is 200 degrees Fahrenheit? $37 degrees Celsius. Jeez. Okay, that's 100. I meant 200. Okay, that's approaching boiling point. Okay, yeah. Alright. Alright, that makes sense. Makes more sense than 200 degrees Celsius. Okay, yep, Fahrenheit is what you go with for that. Interesting. She then begins measuring out tea leaves into a strainer. Now she's going the real hardcore tea route, not just the get a manufactured tea bag. She's literally got the tea leaves. Monica wasn't kidding. You must really enjoy this, huh? Yuri smiles shyly, blushing slightly.
Yes. Besides reading, tea is a true passion of mine. A piping hot cup of tea alongside a gripping novel? Doesn't that sound wonderful?
Yeah, I guess it does. I have to admit, I'm kind of fascinated seeing you be so exact with everything.
Tea is an art. Tea is an art, Baron. It's a delicate dance with where each step must be perfect. Even the temperature of the water needs to be precisely 200 degrees.
Really? The tea I make when I haphazardly plop a tea bag into boiling water seems fine to me. This guy right here. Good old Keurig. I just have it dish out the hot water, and I throw a tea bag into it. Oh, the tea bag goes in, then the water goes on top of it. Then I go with cream and sugar, and then I'm set. mean, I have 1,000 tea bags to go through. It's still sitting in the closet, most of it. I fill up a glass jar with tea bags. I haven't filled it yet. I haven't had to go fill it up yet, but I'm not gonna make a dent in that bag for a while. It might last me till my next birthday. But then again, I guess Yuri's making tea with higher grade ingredients. Once the water is boiled, Yuri adds it to the pot and carefully steeps the tea leaves. She hums to herself delicately and pours out a cup for each of us. It's nice seeing you like this.
What do you mean?
You just seem so relaxed, like you're in the zone.
I see. Expressing myself really isn't as hard as I thought it'd be. I'm glad I get to do this sort of thing with someone else. Especially someone as delightful as yourself, Baron.
Eh?
I'm sorry if that sounded weird. I don't want to make you uncomfortable.
It's really okay, Yuri. I want to do all of this with you. It's kind of new for me as well. Maybe a bit of company will make it easier on both of us.
Yes. Thank you for being so patient with me, Baron.
Yuri really doesn't have much self-confidence. The least I can do is let her be herself a little. Maybe over time, she'll grow more comfortable around others.
Baron, would it be okay if we sat on the floor today?
I don't see why not. Any particular reason why, though?
I can rest against the wall and read instead of leaning over my desk. I often have back pain, so it'd be a lot easier on me.
Oh, sure. I don't mind.
Thank you.
Back pain. Yes. Because she's always leaning over. That's why she has back pain.
Sometimes it could be a real bother to have... That is to say,
Based on how she's acting, I think I can guess what she might be referring to, but confirming that would probably make her feel even more embarrassed. You mean you have terrible reading posture, right? Yes. Posture. Bad posture, that's it. Just bad posture, guys, nothing more. That's why she wants to sit against the wall. She has bad posture. Can't imagine hunching over your books like that so much. So much is too comfortable.
Yes! That's exactly what I was going to say. So, if we were to sit on the floor...
Yeah, that makes sense. Let me just get the book. I retrieve the novel alongside a small bag of chocolates. Yuri carries our teacups and places them on the ground, sliding down to the floor. Soon enough, the two of us are in the same position as yesterday, each holding one side of the story.
Would it be okay if...
Yuri shifts closer to me until our shoulders are touching. Her thick purple hair flops over my arm as she peers over the book. I think I like Yuri being a bit more assertive. I feel like my chair's sunk again. Come on. Oh yeah, my chair definitely sunk again. Good quality chair here. Still in frame properly, right? Yes, I am. Good. Good, good, good.
Here.
Yuri reaches over with her free hand and presents me with my teacup. I carefully accept it, taking great care to avoid her chest as I do so. I slowly let go of the book and raise the teacup. Yuri subconsciously moves her hand underneath it to better balance the book between us. Her gaze is completely focused on the pages below. It's almost as if you can see the story being scanned word by word in her eyes. As she continues, I take a sip from my cup. It has a soothing floral flavor, and it smells wonderful. Yuri wasn't kidding. This really is quite relaxing. Once I've finished my tea, I take a chocolate from my bag and fiddle with the wrapper. After I've clumsily disposed of it, I pop it into my mouth. I've got some chocolates here. Would you like one?
Oh, I appreciate the offer, but I don't want to accidentally get smudges on the page.
That's a good point. Sorry, I hadn't thought of that. My bad.
Oh, it's quite all right. I can hold the book for us if you'd like.
Yuri grabs the other side of the book and holds it between us. Before I know it, she's transfixed in the story again. I don't think she's noticed, but her arm's resting on top of my leg. I take another chocolate from the bag and raise it up to Yuri's mouth. Without looking away, she parts her lips. I don't know if she even realizes she's doing it. But she's expecting it now. I have to follow through. I timidly place the chocolate in Yuri's mouth. As she continues to read, she closes her lips around it. Huh? Looks like she just realized what happened.
What? Baron?
Yuri blushes deeply, looking up at me. Sorry. I wasn't really thinking.
No. You were trying to make me feel more comfortable. Right?
Suddenly I feel really nervous. Yeah. I just thought you might like some.
Yes. If that's the case, then I wouldn't mind another. If that's alright with you, of course.
Totally. Great, now we're a stuttering mess. Good job, man. Way to be smooth. Way to be smooth. Cool operator, Baron MC here. The cup is almost done, damn it. I'll probably take a break an hour in just to make another tea. Depending on where we get today. Yuri tries to look back at the book, but I can tell she's unable to focus on it. I can feel my heart trying to beat out of my chest. Okay, buddy, well, careful with the heart stuff. Last time we had a character say he felt like his heart was trying to beat out of his chest, he had a goddamn heart attack. Let's not have another repeat of that. Things have gotten really tense. I reach down and take another chocolate. This time, Yuri's eyes meet mine. Was this how things were supposed to go? Yuri doesn't look away. There's a soft pleading in her eyes as she slowly blinks. I raise my arm. Like before, Yuri parts her lips. However, this time, it feels a lot more intimate. Her breath is gentle and warm on my fingers as I place the chocolate in her mouth.
Okay, Well, what do we have here? Ah!
Yuri jolts back.
Sorry, I didn't mean to make things awkward. We do need to share poems now, though. Is that okay?
Yeah, of course.
Great. Get things put away and you can join us shortly.
Yuri and I sit there dumbfounded.
I guess I can take care of the teacups.
Yeah. Yuri picks up the teacups from the floor. I pick up the bag of chocolates. Without another word, the two of us clean everything up. I don't know if either of us will have the courage to bring this up in the future. Alright, well, I'm gonna do the same thing I did yesterday. I'll go Monica, Natsuki, Sayori, and then Yuri.
Hi again, Baron. I'm trusting that the club's been doing you well.
Same answer as yesterday.
That's nice to hear. So, how's the writing going?
Alright, I guess.
Just alright?
No, I guess I should say it's revolutionized my world and brought color into my previously lifeless, life. Well, I say that. The club, if not the poetry, really has made my days more interesting.
Okay. Can it with the sarcasm, mister? At least you're not hating it, though, right?
It's been an interesting experience, at least. Gives me a new hobby to do.
I'm happy that you're applying yourself, at least. Maybe soon you'll come up with a masterpiece.
I wouldn't count on that.
You never know. Want to share what you wrote for today?
Sure. Here you go. I give my poem to Monica.
All right. I can see that you put some good effort there. It feels like you're not only getting more comfortable with your style, but the imagery is even better than the last one I read. It seems like you've been finding more inspiration in Yuri's writing style too, right?
You could say that. Although it's more like I admire that kind of writing style in general, rather than Yuri specifically.
It's okay, Baron. I won't judge if it's otherwise.
I don't know what you're thinking, but I'm sure that you're wrong. I should probably think of a way to change the subject, fast. Anyway. About Yuri's writing style. What do you think about it? Given that I wrote in a similar style, I'd like to know your opinions on it in general.
Well, I guess I'd say her poems are the most romantic. But hold on, Baron. Have you not seen her poem yet?
No, I haven't. Why?
Well, I think that the argument yesterday really got to her, to be honest.
Yeah, it did kind of blow up.
So I really believe that Yuri is trying to reform herself by experimenting more and giving Natsuki's style a try.
That's kind of unexpected. How's she changing up her poems?
Well, it seems like Yuri is paying more attention to rhyme and meter now. I don't think I really have to tell you this, but before she was really into free verse and less conventional devices. But now she's really going back to poetry's traditional roots.
I wonder what Natsuki thinks about this.
You haven't seen Natsuki's poem today yet, either?
No, why?
Why don't you ask to see her poem yourself? But I don't think that Natsuki knows that Yuri's changing herself yet.
Huh. I see.
Honestly, I'm worried that Natsuki's going to do something she'll regret one day that she can't take back.
That sounds really ominous.
Sorry. I didn't mean to bring the mood down. It's just that it's the president's job to worry about the well-being of the club members, you know?
Yeah, I get that. That's pretty responsible of you.
It's all part of the job. Anyway, back to Yuri's poetry. Although the literary devices that she incorporates are different, her overall themes and tones still seem to be similar. Her previous work actually reminded me a lot of the poet C.K. Williams' poems. Although she's departed from writing in a similar style, the depths of their themes aren't dissimilar. In Williams' later work, he wrote introspective poems that were very descriptive.
That does sound pretty familiar.
Anyway, he's a pretty distinguished poet. So your takeaway message could be that this sort of style is pretty well liked.
Well, you have to be a good writer too, of course. Alright, thanks for the lesson today, Miss Monica.
I guess I do sound a bit like a lecturer sometimes.
If this style is popular, I guess I can start getting ready for fame and fortune. Monica rolls her eyes, although she can't suppress a smile from breaking through.
But in the meantime, you want to show me your poem now?
Oh, no, sorry, that's me speaking. I am so used to Kadoa having color codes for each character, so you know it's a different person speaking. At least in the box. You know what I mean? Like, their name is a different color from everything else, so you can easily tell they've switched. You want to show me your poem now? I think it's about time we let your poem shine.
Sure thing, Baron. I like the way this one turned out, so I hope you do too.
Alright, let's take a look. Pressurized. I float there, in vast hollow emptiness, large but small, grandiose and overwhelming, yet a dust mote. Or note, whatever. Probably... No, that's an M, so mote. Drifting, meandering, carried along, into endless... void. But then I realize. My eyes open, bloodshot. My mouth opens, gasping. For breath in this, crushing, suppressing, restraining, boundless, everlasting, suffocating vacuum of torment. Atmosphere, Pascal, Tor, screaming with no mouth, stretching, restraining, unrelenting, clawing with no nails, disintegrating in a suffocating poem of absence. Okay. I'm understanding the kind of theme she's going with. It's even more abstract than your last one, huh? Really, freeform too, if that's what you call it.
I guess it's just the way I write. I'm sorry if you don't like it.
No, I never said that. It's just a kind of thing I've never really seen before, I guess. The other girls don't do this stuff nearly as much as you, at least.
Yeah, you could say that they're a bit more traditional when it comes to their structure. But I kind of like playing with my space on the paper. Choosing where and how to space your words can totally change the mood of a poem. It's almost like magic. The way I wrote the lines really short makes it feel like they're trying to speak over the noise. It fragments everything and leaves a dissonant tone with the reader.
I see. I guess there's a lot of things you can do with poetry.
Definitely. Poetry is very much an art form. You're meant to craft poems using never-before-seen combinations of words to interpret the world around you.
You really love poetry, huh? Maybe you should write a poem about poetry someday.
That's not a bad idea.
Anyway, it's still hard for me to tell what your poem's about.
Sometimes asking what a poem is about isn't the right question. A poem can be as abstract as physical expression of a physical expression of a feeling, or a conversation with the reader. So, putting it that way, not every poem is about something. Anyway, here's Monica's writing tip of the day. Are you ever too shy to share your writing because you're afraid it's not that good? Now, we've all had to experience that at some point with the poetry discussions and all. But it can be really disheartening to get a lukewarm response to something you put so much effort into.
Oh, if I put so much into, whatever. The implication is effort.
If you find other people who enjoy writing, though, then sharing becomes a lot easier. Because instead of just telling you that your writing is good, or okay, or bad, they'll want to focus more on everything that went into it, and the things you can work on. It's much more encouraging that way, and it'll make you want to continue improving.
Yeah, it is definitely more helpful getting real criticism and feedback rather than just empty words. I guess I've really hit the mother lode with the literature club.
That's my advice for today. Thanks for listening.
Let's check some reels real quick. Alright, Natsuki.
Well, it's better than your last one, but I still don't like it. You're trying too hard to be serious.
Huh? What do you mean?
Poems don't need to be cryptic and deep-sounding to be good. It just sounds super dumb if you don't suck at it. Honestly, don't try to write like this unless you're on Yuri's level.
Or until, whatever. Natsuki's just kind of being Natsuki. Natsuki pauses as if she just realized something.
Oh, don't tell me. You're just writing this to impress Yuri, aren't you?
What? No! I'm not trying to impress anybody. I'm just writing.
Yeah, writing exactly how Yuri would write. She would love crap like this. This. You know what? No.
Natsuki shoves my poem back at me.
I don't want to do this with you anymore. You wrote a poem for someone else, don't show it to me.
Well, that just happened. I guess this was destined to happen. I never really understood what Natsuki tries to get out of me. At least she wasn't the girl I was trying to impress. Alright, yeah, Natsuki's stuff is gonna be really short now. Alright, to Sayori. Good, wonderful cinnamon bun.
Oh! I really like this one, Baron.
Better than yesterday's, huh?
Let me think. I don't know. I guess I like them both.
That's not very helpful, you know.
Sorry. I'm probably not the best person to get feedback from. Monica once told me it's impossible to really rate a poem because they're so subjective. So I just judge poems through my heart. I guess I look for how the poem makes me feel. I hope that helps.
Sort of? I guess some feedback is better than no feedback, right?
Right. Speaking of feedback, do you want to read my poem now?
Sure. Bottles. I pop off my scalp like a lid of a cookie jar. It's the secret place where I keep all my dreams. Little balls of sunshine, all rubbing together like a bundle of kittens. I reach inside with my thumb and forefinger and pluck one out. It's warm and tingly. But there's no time to waste. I put it in a bottle to keep it safe. And I put the bottle on the shelf with all the other bottles. Happy thoughts, happy thoughts, happy thoughts in bottles, all in a row. My collection makes me lots of friends. Each bottle a starlight to make amends. Sometimes my friend feels a certain way. Down comes a bottle to save the day. Night after night, more dreams. Friend after friend, more bottles. Deeper and deeper my fingers go, like exploring a dark cave, discovering the secrets hidden in the nooks and crannies. Digging and digging, scraping and scraping. I blow the dust off my bottle caps. It doesn't feel like time's elapsed. My empty shelf could use some more. My friends look through my locked front door. Finally all done, I open up and in come my friends. In they come in such a hurry. Do they want my bottles that much? I frantically pull them from the shelf, one after the other, holding them out to each and every friend, each and every bottle. But every time I let one go, it shatters against the tile beneath my feet, between my feet. Happy thoughts, happy thoughts, happy thoughts in shards all over the floor. They were supposed to be for my friends who aren't smiling. They're all shouting, pleading, something. But all I hear is echo, 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 echo inside my head. Yeah, that's not, Wow, Sayori. I didn't expect this at all. Did you really write this?
Of course I did. Remember, I said I'd write the best poem ever yesterday. Well, here it is. After all, Monica's taught me a lot. And I've been really in touch with my feelings recently.
So that's what this poem's about? I suppose that much was obvious. Unlike Yuri's or Monica's poems, Sayori's are relatively simple to figure out. So, if I've interpreted this correctly, you're basically doing everything you can to keep your friends happy?
Yeah, you got it. I really enjoyed writing this one. Just like getting your thoughts out onto paper and turning them into a poem. It's like magic.
Well, I think it's amazing. You should be really proud of it.
Thank you, Baron. That means a lot. I didn't think it was that good, though.
Nah, it's great. Seriously. I can't help but notice the latter half of the poem isn't quite as cheery. In fact, it's somewhat alarming. A very dark contrast from the cheeriness I'm used to with Sayori. Although, maybe I'm looking into this a little too much. The end of the poem is pretty dark? And you said you've been in touch with your feelings recently, so I'm just checking. Is everything okay?
Of course, silly. I forgot to tell you. I really like writing about bittersweet stuff. Stuff that isn't just happy or just sad. A mixture of the two. And this poem shows that what I mean. It's just my writing style.
Ah, okay. That makes sense, I guess. Well, either way, I'm glad you're enjoying writing so much. I hope you keep it up. Good to have a hobby.
Of course! And hopefully you'll also stick with it. So I look forward to seeing all the poems you write in the future.
Well, no guarantees there, but just from seeing the passion in Sayori's eyes, it's hard to be pessimistic. And finally, Yuri.
Let's see what you've written for today.
Interest is piqued. Yuri stares at the poem with a surprised expression on her face. Do you like it?
Baron? I'm stunned. How is it possible that you're already this skilled at writing? It was but a day ago that I was trying to give you advice, and now you've already seemed to master it.
Perhaps you're a good teacher. I really took your advice to heart and tried to compose a great piece with that in mind. Yuri visibly swallows. She coils a slender lock of her hair around her finger, twiddling it nervously.
You thought of me?
Sorry, was that weird?
No! How do I word this?
It's fine. Take your time. Yuri breathes and collects her thoughts. I know that Yuri likes to think before she speaks, so I offer that patience to her.
I'm not used to this sort of thing. Having someone value my opinion like that? I know it might sound foolish, but the fact I was able to inspire you was incredibly humbling. And I suppose, in a way, it just makes me really happy.
Wait, surely you've shared your writing with others before, right? Yuri shakes her head. Seriously? You're really talented, so I would have thought you'd have shown your writing to others.
I primarily write for myself. And besides, I highly doubt people would seriously enjoy my writing.
Do you really think that? Yuri nods solemnly. You really haven't shared it with anyone else? Not even your close friends? Yuri doesn't respond to that. I wonder why. Anyway, could I look at your poem now?
Yeah. Yes, of course. If you really want to see it.
Resist. A whimsical, tiny... What? Okay, I know my reading of cursive is bad-ish, but it's not that bad. Cherish? Some kind of friend. Sleeps along my amber bookend, dreaming about a sanguine day where misread slender... What the hell? Oh my god, this is actually kind of hard to read. So the lampposts play. She beckons me, her hand extends, piercing pupils readily rend. Azure channels bend and twist, cautiously held above the wrists. However she finds her advances shunned, always cracking, always stunned, never able to draw the lance? Across my arms she's never danced. Perhaps it would be for the best if I laid down to rest, lest I haven't given in to painfully pleading from within. I think that it might be smart to save the song of fumbling hearts, lest tears make me dizzily fall, and answers her violet Violet. Virulent call. Oh my god. Okay, yeah, I could barely read half of that. Oh my god.
I felt a bit guilty after yesterday's argument with Natsuki. I wanted to experiment with my style a bit more. Hopefully it's not too confusing.
No, it's fine. Even if it's a bit more involved than yesterday's, I still like it. I'm noticing a lot more symbolism as well. I don't want to assume anything, but the tone of this poem, I'm not sure how to describe it.
Yes. I really wanted to test my abilities in creative expression. I didn't go too far, did I?
No, it's really good. I just don't know if I'm good enough at this to deduce the meaning.
If I had to explain it, I'd say it's about a closely guarded secret. I imagine everyone has a little something like that. Something they're forced to keep to themselves for fear of ridicule. It's nice to be able to write about that sort of thing every now and then.
If it's something you enjoy doing, shouldn't you write about it more?
Well, it's not that simple. It's something I'm uncomfortable talking about. I'm not sure people would understand. If anyone were to find out about it...
Well, I guess as long as it's not hurting anyone, people shouldn't pry.
Do you think so? Sorry, I just was thinking of something. It's a good point, though. The best I can do is to try and embrace my own weirdness, right? Otherwise, I think I'd hate myself. Sorry to keep you so long. Thank you for allowing me to ramble. There aren't many people in this world like you, Baron. When I share my writing with you, I feel like you genuinely care about what I have to say. It's nice, having someone who listens.
That might be a bit much to say, wouldn't it?
It's just... I'm not really used to it. I barely feel comfortable about my writing, let alone the idea of sharing it. But with you, it just feels so easy. It's... nice. Thank you for helping me with that, Baron.
It's nothing, really. Yuri shows me a genuine smile. A newfound sense of self-confidence seems to sparkle behind her eyes, if only just for a moment. Okay, I'm going to make another tea, so I will be right back. And I'm back.
Okay, everyone. We're all done reading each other's poems, right? Actually, Natsuki and I haven't shared yet.
Uh-oh. I can feel a storm coming on. Yuri hesitantly approaches Natsuki, who isn't meeting her eyes. Is she still angry with Yuri? It wouldn't be out of character for her to be. Although, judging by Monika and Sayori's anxious expressions, I feel like something else is amiss.
So, Natsuki, if I may?
Ugh.
How about we do this tomorrow instead? I'm not, feeling well. It's my time of the month.
I can practically see Monika internally facepalming. Natsuki must have forgotten that the club isn't all girls anymore.
Ah, is that so? I'm sorry. You must feel absolutely terrible if you can't even share your poem today.
You don't need to apologize. It's not your fault. I can definitely share it tomorrow.
Ah. Well, even if you aren't well enough to share your own poem, would you like to see mine? I, wrote it thinking of our argument the other day. I suppose that I wanted to show you that I'm more open-minded than I may have appeared. As a way of repenting. I know that it's not much, but hopefully this can contribute to a reconciliation between us. Although we may have our disagreements, I would like to consider you a friend. And friends forgive each other. I'm sorry if that's presumptuous of me to say.
No, it's not presumptuous of you to say that. Because I'd like to consider you a friend too. So, hand over that poem then.
With a shy smile, Yuri hands the sheet of paper in her hands over to Natsuki. As Natsuki reads the poem, her eyes widen.
You're writing using rhyme and stuff? Like me?
You could say that you convinced me to practice adding more lyricism to my poetry.
Natsuki looks like she's speechless for once.
Thanks, Yuri. It's awesome.
There's really no need to thank me.
Well, I'm really glad that I got to know you. And I'll definitely have something that'll knock your socks off tomorrow.
Then I'll be looking forward to that. I do hope that you feel better tomorrow as well, so that you could share your work with me then.
Yeah, of course.
That was a crisis and a half avoided. I'm really glad that Natsuki and Yuri worked things out, and it seems that Monika and Sayori feel the same way.
It's good to see everyone getting along. Now that we are done sharing, though, I have something to discuss with you all. There's a great opportunity for expanding the club that's coming up.
Is this about the festival?
You could say that.
Do we really have to do something? It's only in a few days, so it's not like we'll be able to come up with anything good.
Yes, that's something I'm concerned about as well. With such little time left to prepare, I doubt we'll be able to put together anything good enough to attract new members.
Yeah, we'll just end up embarrassing ourselves.
Oh, don't worry so much. We're going to keep it simple, okay? Nothing more than a few decorations. I can design some pamphlets to hand out at the event, and Siori made posters to put up around the school.
Okay, that's great and all. But that doesn't tell us what we're actually going to be doing for the event.
Sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself. We're actually going to put on a poetry performance.
A what?
Monica. Everyone's going to choose one poem to recite out loud. It doesn't have to be written by you, so long as you put your heart into the recitation. Although, of course, it'd be great if you could show off your own work. And the cool part is, we're also going to let anyone else come up and recite their poems too.
Oh my god, yeah, great idea. Got 2 balls of anxiety right there, and you want him to go up on stage in front of everybody.
Yeah! I put a thing on the posters that says, "Bring your own poems." It's gonna be so cool!
Siori pulls a poster out of her bag and holds it up for us to see.
Are you kidding me, Monica? Don't tell me you started putting up those posters already.
Well, I did. Do you really think it's that bad of an idea?
Well, you didn't even ask us before you started advertising. We never agreed to stand up in front of a bunch of random people and perform our poems.
I agree with Natsuki. I could never, in my life, do something like that.
Imagining it, Yuri shakes her head in fear.
Guys! Yes, let's please calm down and take a moment to think about it. I understand that you two haven't had much experience sharing your poems out loud. In fact, we all haven't done that much. But I still think we should try our best. Look around.
Monica motions to all of us.
We're all here because we have a passion for literature and this club. Don't you want to share that passion with other people? To inspire them to pursue their inner writer? Yeah! It's all about exploring yourself and trying new things, all while having fun.
Monica and I nod our heads in agreement. Natsuki and Yuri, on the other hand, remain silent. Guess that means it's my turn to say something. I mean, I don't think it's that much to ask. As Monica said, we're all here because we care about the club and want to see it flourish. And if all that means is a 2-minute poetry performance, then I think we can manage. Sayori and Monica's faces light up as I finish speaking.
Hey, it isn't like we don't care about the club. It's just... do we really have to perform? You know how hard it is to get new members. It's because people are just narrow-minded jerks. They don't even give literature a chance. Who's to say this festival won't be any different?
I'm inclined to agree with Natsuki. I'm sorry, Monica. I know how much you want to do this, but I just can't imagine performing in front of a large crowd, in front of a crowd of strangers.
Well, at least Yuri and Natsuki have proven they can agree on something. Monica sighs, her eyes closed as she rubs her temples.
Look, guys, I know you're anxious. I understand that. I really do. To be honest with you, I'm a little bit nervous myself. After all, it's my club, so people are going to judge me the most if our performance doesn't go well. Natsuki, if it makes you feel any better, a few of my friends will be coming along. They're lovely people. They won't judge you for your tastes. I've known them for a few years. Trust me.
Natsuki huffs, turning away. She doesn't look particularly convinced.
And Yuri, I know it's a scary thought, but I've thought of a way to ease you into it. Why don't we start by practicing our pose to each other in the club?
No way!
Monica! This is too sudden! Well, if you can't recite your poem in front of the club, how do you expect to do it in front of strangers? But...
Monica! There's just gotta be something else we can do.
Yuri nods vigorously at Natsuki's words, anxiety written all over her face.
But guys... No, Sayori. It's okay. If you guys really think we can do better than a poetry performance, then I'll gladly go along with an alternative. So, any ideas?
An awkward silence fills the room. We all glance at each other anxiously before Sayori finally speaks up.
Oh, we could...
Sayori stops and thinks to herself for a moment.
Wait, no, never mind. That wouldn't work.
Once again, the room falls silent.
Well then, I guess we can't come up with something different after all.
Monica laughs, attempting to ease the tension in the room.
I know you guys might not be the most on board with this idea, but I think it's our best option. Please, guys. Please?
Can you stop pressuring us?
I'm honestly surprised Natsuki's putting up such a resistance. I knew she was a little hot-headed, but even still.
I'm not pressuring you, Natsuki.
Both of them have raised their voice. Yuri looks a little startled, and Sayori looks anxious to intervene. Oh, damn it, Sayori.
Guys! Please, there's no need to get angry. Can't we just discuss this normally?
Monica reflects on Sayori's words, looking a little ashamed of her outburst.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to raise my voice. It's just... this festival is important to me, that's all. Ever since I created this club, I've wanted to show other people. Natsuki, Yuri, I imagine you were both a little apprehensive when Baron joined, right? After all, he was an unfamiliar face.
She smiles warmly at me.
But look, he's integrating really well.
She faces Natsuki.
I mean, you two bonded over manga, right? He asked you for recommendations, and from what I could gather, you both share a common interest.
Hey, it's not like we bonded or anything. It was just nice to find someone else who likes manga, that's all.
She shoots a look at Yuri.
Of course. How silly of me to forget. Anyway, maybe some of these new members might also be manga enthusiasts. Who knows? Surely you'd like to be able to share your passion with other people, right?
Natsuki shrugs half-heartedly.
I suppose that'd be cool, yeah.
Monica beams.
See? That's exactly my mentality. Wanting to share the things you like with new people.
Yeah, I know that. It's just... are there really no other ideas?
Remember, poetry performances are a pretty big part of this club. We want to show people what our meetings are really like. If we just gave out posters or showed them our poems in writing only, it wouldn't really be a fair reflection.
Seeing that there's no real way she's going to win this, Natsuki sits back and grumbles something under her breath.
So, what do you guys think? What do you think, guys? For me? For us?
Ah, still don't think it's a good idea, but fine, I'll do it. Just stop guilt-tripping us.
Phew. Thanks, Natsuki. And you, Yuri?
Yuri nervously glances at each of our expectant faces.
But, Monica, what if people start being inconsiderate and disturb us or laugh?
I'm not surprised Yuri's worried about this.
Oh, don't you worry. If anyone steps out of line, I'll put a swift stop to that.
She has a stern glint in her eye, and I have to repress a shiver. I'm glad she's with us. Yuri looks somewhat relieved, but it's clear she's still worried. She swallows and nods.
I suppose I don't really have a choice, do I?
I shake my head.
Okay. I'll do it.
Yeah, that's everyone. You're the best, Yuri.
This club is seriously going to be the death of me. I know you'll do great, Yuri. Just trust me. But anyway, let's move back onto the main event. While we have time, I want each of you to choose a poem of yours to practice reciting in front of each other.
Yuri and Natsuki exchange uneasy glances, but don't say anything.
Don't worry. I'll go first so everyone feels a little more comfortable. Can I go next? Of course. Now, let's see.
Monica flips through her notebook, searching for a specific poem.
Ah, here we are. The title of this poem is The Way They Fly. Ahem.
Monica begins reciting her poem. Her clear, confident voice fills the room. Her eyes move across the page, in sync with her lips. Every word has the perfect amount of emotion put behind it, making the poem almost come to life. Her inflection is extraordinary. I'm impressed, and judging by a quick glance around me, so is everyone else. Sayori looks amazed. Yuri has an intense expression on her face that I don't understand. Even Natsuki's once sour attitude is replaced by awe. Finally, Monica finishes the recitation. The four of us applaud. Monica takes a breath and smiles.
That was so good, Monica! Thank you very much. I was just hoping to set a good example. Are you ready to go next, Sayori? Yep.
Sayori jumps up from her chair and takes Monica's place at the front of the room.
This poem is called, how did you do this so easily, Monica? Well, try to imagine you're alone, like you're reciting it to yourself. It's your poem, so it'll come out the best that way. Oh, I think I get it.
Sayori nods to herself.
Anyway, this poem's called My Meadow.
Sayori begins reciting her poem. It seems as if her soft voice is a perfect match. As for the poem itself, it has a similar tone when compared to her other ones. It's peaceful, yet somber at the same time. Bittersweet, you could call it. Hearing the poem in Sayori's voice almost gives it an entirely new meaning. I think this is what Sayori means when she says she likes my poems. It's like she's seeing a whole new side of someone you thought you knew completely. Sayori finishes, and we all applaud.
I did it! Yep, good job.
Sayori beams as she walks back to her seat.
So, who'd like to go next?
Natsuki, Yuri, and I all look at each other nervously. I open my mouth, but Yuri beats me to the punch.
I'll go. Nice. Thanks for showing initiative, Yuri. Yes.
Yuri rushes over to the podium, clutching a sheet of paper in her hands.
This poem is called...
Yuri freezes as she looks up at us.
You can do it, Yuri! It's called After Image of a Crimson Eye.
Yuri begins to recite her poem. Her voice is shaky at first, but the more she reads, the more confident she becomes. It's similar to what happens when she gets absorbed in her books. The shy and apprehensive Yuri I'm used to was replaced by a fierce and confident woman. The poem itself is like a maze in its structure, with twists and turns every line. But Yuri is unfazed and enunciates each word with perfect timing. This must be a rare glimpse into the whirling fire Yuri keeps concealed inside her head. Suddenly, she's finished. Everyone is stunned. Yuri snaps back into reality and glances around her, as if she bewildered even herself. Monica's the first to start applauding. Sheepishly, I follow along, and soon the club room is filled with the sound of applause. Yuri ducks her head in embarrassment, a shy smile creeping over her face.
Yuri, that was really good. Like I said, you don't have anything to worry about. Thank you for sharing. Thanks.
Guess Yuri's done for the day.
So, who'd like to go next? Natsuki?
Why should I go before Baron? It's not like I can compare to you guys anyway. Might as well let Baron lower everyone's standards before I go.
Natsuki!
Monica hastens to chastise her, shooting me a sympathizing look.
That was kind of rude, don't you think? You should apologize to Baron.
Natsuki's face turns red as the girls all turn to look at her. I decide to spare Natsuki from the embarrassment. Hey, it's no big deal. I'll end up going at some point anyway. Might as well do it now. Thing is, I don't have much of a selection to choose from. I'll just go with what I wrote for today. I stand up and step in front of the podium. Everyone has their eyes on me, making me feel terribly awkward. I take a deep breath. In my head, I repeat to myself the advice Monica gave to Sayori. Try to imagine you're alone, like you're reciting it to yourself. Alone. My house is the first thing that comes to mind when I think of being alone. The scene rapidly develops in my head, like I'm recalling a recent memory. I'm sitting alone at my desk. The dim light hanging from the ceiling gives a warmth to the room. In front of me is the poem I had just finished, the ink from my pen still fresh on the page. I pick up the notebook and begin reciting it loud. While I'm not the most confident in it, I still try and put energy into it. I can almost hear my voice echoing off my bedroom walls. As I finish, the sound of applause pulls me out of my daydream. I'm back in the club room, standing at the podium while the girls politely applaud my performance.
That was good, Baron.
I guess.
Oh, don't be so hard on yourself. I don't think it's your writing abilities, but rather your lack of confidence that weighs you down. That's something that'll improve over time, though, so don't worry.
Yeah, okay. Thanks.
Alright then. That just leaves you, Natsuki.
Yeah. I'm going.
As she says this, Natsuki begrudgingly gets out of her seat and makes her way to the podium.
The poem is called... Stop looking at me!
But you're presenting.
You don't have to stare directly into my soul, though.
She
takes a moment to compose herself.
Anyway, the poem is called Jump.
Natsuki takes a breath. While her voice is unenthusiastic, the poem has a surprising amount of energy to it. The rhymes tie into each other seamlessly, creating a flow that moves the poem along at a brisk pace. The words seem to bounce up and down with the rhyme, the rhythm, seemingly making the poem come to life. It's Natsuki's signature style, and it works exceptionally well when read out loud. She quickly finishes and huffs as she makes her way back to her seat while we applaud her.
That wasn't so bad, was it?
She stares at her poem blankly for a second before replying.
Easy for you to say. Better not make me do that again.
Well, that's what we're going to be doing at the festival, so... Do you at least feel confident enough to do it in front of a crowd?
I guess. It's not like there's any other choice. And I guess it'll be easier doing it in front of other people. I can just put on whatever face I want with strangers. I don't care what they think of me. But when it's just my friends, it's just embarrassing. But I still hate the idea we have to perform.
She mutters that last sentence under her breath. The others probably didn't hear it. I knew Natsuki was stubborn, but this is a whole other level. However, it does look like she's going to go along with the idea of performing for the festival. Well, at least for now, since she's basically outvoted, it can't come up with any other idea anyway.
Really? That's a surprise? For me, it's the other way around. Having all those people looking at you, judging you? I don't like to think about it. I can relate to that.
Yuri murmurs quietly.
The thought of so many eyes observing your every move all at once.
She trails off, shaking her head.
Well, it's just how it is, so...
Natsuki sighs in frustration.
Well, I guess in that case, you won't have to worry won't have much to worry about for the festival. Speaking of which, I want to thank you all for performing. It might be difficult, but now that we have a general idea of what it'll be like, we'll be able to prepare ourselves. Make sure you pick out a poem and show it to me by tomorrow, okay? I'll need to know so I can make pamphlets over the weekend.
I should probably find a different poem to recite. I know you'd prefer if we used our own poetry, but I'm probably gonna pick a poem from a poet I like or something.
Whatever makes you feel comfortable, Baron. I'm already pleasantly surprised that you're putting all this effort into the club.
Low expectations, huh?
More like any effort put in makes me feel happy in general.
Monica smiles at me and then turns to smile at everyone else.
That goes for everyone here. Thanks for going along with these last-minute plans. Anyway, I think that about does it for today. Let's still try to write poems for tomorrow, okay? I know the festival's coming up, but it's been working out nicely the past few days, and I'd like to continue. Tomorrow, we'll finalize who's doing what for the festival, and then we'll have the weekend to prepare. Remember, we have till Monday. It'll be so much fun! I can't wait!
We all stand up, packing away our things. However, Monica's voice stops us.
Oh, and guys...
She pauses, twirling a strand of her hair in her hand.
This club truly does mean so much to me, and I really appreciate you willing to do what you're willing to do for it. You guys are the best.
In typical fashion, Natsuki just rolls her eyes. Yuri smiles timidly while Sayori wears a hearty smile.
Let's just get it over with. I hope we don't regret this.
That's okay, Monica. nothing to thank us for. We really appreciate what you've made for us.
I can't help but catch Yuri muttering under her breath after she says this.
I can do this. I can do this. Yeah, I love it here. We get to spread this cozy little place to other people.
Yeah, it's all good, Monica. Alright. I stand up and grab my bag. Well, I'm certainly not enthusiastic as Monica or Sayori about the festival. If I can pull that little daydream stunt again, I think I'll be alright. It's for the sake of the club. Not to mention impressing the girls. Once I'm fully packed, I walk over to Sayori. Ready to go?
Yep.
Jeez, don't you ever get tired of always walking home with Baron, Sayori?
Hey, what's that supposed to mean?
Oh, don't mind her. You guys are more adorable than anything.
Alright, alright. No need to make such a big deal about it.
It must be a little nice, though.
Yeah, I guess. Ah, jeez. Let's just go already, Sayori.
Okay.
The two of us begin the walk home. A lot has changed in the past few days. Lost in thought, I didn't even notice how quiet Sayori's being until we're almost back home. There's a lot going on in the club now, eh? I bet you're thinking about all the new vice president duties you'll have to deal with when the club grows bigger.
Eh? Yeah.
Anything specific on your mind?
Not really.
Sorry, did you want to talk? I mean, we don't have to. Hold on. Did I do that wrong? Was that a Sayori line? Oh, that was a Sayori line. Okay.
Sorry, did you want to talk?
I mean, we don't have to if you're thinking about stuff.
No. It's nice talking to you. I was thinking about something from earlier. It's nice that we, never mind. It's nothing.
You're sounding a little like Yuri right now.
Huh? Oh, yeah. Well, I guess I just have a question for you, Baron.
What's up? Sayori clears her throat before speaking.
So, let's just say that one day Yuri asked you to walk home with you.
Huh?
What would you do?
What kind of question is that? You're kind of putting me on the spot here. So, we gonna walk home with Yuri or still walk home with Sayori? I mean, I'm trying to get on the Yuri path, so I'm gonna say that as much as it kind of breaks my heart. Sorry, Sayori. Walking home with Yuri, huh? Why does the thought of that make my heart pound? I mean, given how hard it is for her to socialize, I would feel awful turning her down, so...
Isn't she so beautiful and smart?
That has nothing to do with what I just said.
You admitted it!
Jeez. There's not even any point in speculating something that's never gonna happen.
Well, maybe. But I just like to think about it. Don't you think that maybe she'd be more fun to walk home with?
I frown. Where did this come from? What? I mean, it could be interesting, I guess. But even if I did walk with her, it's not like she'd be replacing you or anything. Everyone is different. Nobody in the club is a replacement for you.
If you say so.
The conversation trails off, and I'm left feeling awkward. But it was kind of her fault for trapping me with such a weird question. But I can't just lie to her. But if there's something that makes her happy, I'd hate to take that away from her. That's why I said there's no point in speculating. Sayori and I part ways without saying another word. I reach my house and open the door. I'm home. No response. I'm alone, as usual. I mumble that part to myself. Talking to myself as if I'm the protagonist of a manga or a game. I must be going stir-crazy. Mom is still out on her business trip. She's never home anymore. I miss her. But I don't blame her for anything. It's hard enough providing for yourself, let alone a kid. Since I'm alone, I decide to make an instant meal for dinner. Digging through my cabinets, I find some old soup cans. Miso soup sounds good. I unwrap the packaging, pour in some water, and place the meal in the microwave. While it cooks, my mind wanders back to my performance earlier. That daydream was so vivid, so realistic. Can I really pull off that performance again, but this time in front of a crowd? It wasn't even that great in the first place. Just doing it in front of the girls was nerve-wracking. Guess I'm not really used to being around people again. Maybe that's it. Thinking about it, I guess I've kind of been subconsciously isolating myself from people ever since the divorce. Before it even, in some cases. I wonder when I started shunning myself. Maybe that's part of why Sayori and I drifted apart over the past few years? It wasn't intentional or anything. It just happened. At least, I don't think it was intentional. But I'm glad I got to reconnect with her in the literature club. It's given me something to do, something to look forward to that isn't anime or video games. Talking with the girls has made me feel more appreciated. It's a nice feeling. Something that's been missing from me ever since the divorce. Maybe that's why Sayori likes walking home with me. It makes her feel appreciated. Sayori. The more I think about it, the more concerned for her I get. She said some pretty weird stuff. But I guess people just have their off days. Maybe she's just changed a little bit over the years? Pretty normal, right? I'd like to think I'd be able to tell if something was up with her. Although, given our recent distance, I'm not so sure. Sure, we started talking again, but there's a lot of lost time. Maybe that'll change, and we'll go back to how we used to. Beep. I hope. Yeah, our main character actually has some characterization of their own. And just like with last time, we're gonna save. And I am gonna call that there. Alright. So that was pretty good. Got to the next day of Doki Doki Blue Skies there. We're getting close to the festival. We kind of learn a little more about Yuri. She's very much into tea, but still incredibly self-conscious most of the time. But if she can get herself going, she can just start something, get herself going, she kind of keeps on track and has confidence in herself that way, which is nice. Natsuki is as stubborn as ever. Sayori, we've got that extra side to her that's showing. Well, she's got this happy, bubbly exterior. There's something lying a little bit under the a little more under the surface. And then Monica is Monica. I mean, she's got a bit more. Her poems are interesting. Both of her poems are kind of like about how she's trapped. Not really any choice of her own either. She's trapped and being held against her will in some way. Alright, so... Alright, tomorrow at... When did I say? Just gonna pop up Twitter real fast. Okay, yeah, tomorrow at 5 o'clock, be, for some Stardew. And then just, again, reminder, Saturday at 6 o'clock, it'll be more Katawa Shoujo. Probably by Saturday at the absolute latest, I will let everybody know on Twitter and whatnot what my schedule for next week will be. It's sounding like my region is going to start locking things down again, so that 6 o'clock Saturday Katawa Shoujo stream could end up being earlier. Could also potentially end up not happening. I don't know. I will let you know when I know, which should be pretty soon. Anyway, I'm hoping everyone has themselves a great April 1st. April Fool's Day. No jokes here today, obviously. I didn't have anything planned. Anyway, I hope everybody has themselves a great rest of the day, and I'll see you next time.